Haidas have been here since the beginning of time. We have watched the sea levels rise and fall. We live amongst the supernaturals. They've taught us many things. We are an island people. We are an ocean-going people. The waters are our roadways. Our intimate relationship with Haida Gwaii is based off of Yakudun, respect.
I'm Mathea Olin and I am a surfer from Tofino, Canada. Funny enough, I was actually born in Kamloops, Alberta, so I'm a mountain girl at heart. But when I was about half a year old, we moved to Tofino, right here. Cards Bay is our backyard, so I grew up with the ocean as like my home. So in a few days, me and Paige are going to be going to Haida Gwaii and hopefully score some insane waves when we're there and experience the community and the culture.
I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, except that I was going on a trip with Mathea, and that made me super excited. I feel like she's the little sister that I never had, and just the way that we can kind of like get on and communicate with each other, it's pretty unique.
Here in Tofino, we are designing 3 incredible surfboards, which we will bring with us to Haida Gwaii and gift them to the community. The boards are going to get painted on by a few local artists, and hopefully from Stefan's magic in the shaping room to this beautiful art, it's going to become the perfect board.
I often refer to the process of building a surfboard as like big kid arts and crafts. The shaping process, that is quite almost therapeutic in some ways. It's singular focus and zen-like.
Never before have I been there and witnessed like the blank getting cut and then him going into the sanding room and finishing it off by hand. Every board rides completely different when you take it in the ocean. Everything Stefan tunes with the rocker and the rail makes a huge difference on how they feel in the water.
The idea of going to a remote location where you know that you're going to get to surf waves with only a few people out, I'm excited.
I hope we find some perfect peelers where I can push my limits, and I hope we also find some barreling waves. I really want to work on my barrel riding a lot.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, nice
Nice to meet you too. Mathea, Walaga.
Walaga is a complete legend. He's like the perfect guy to have here showing us around.
Ne Kun is one of the sacred birthplaces of our people. Riding waves in this new way is rad. It's a beautiful coalescing of our cultural traditions and modern craft.
I can't wait for all my boards to come and like have a proper wedding. Got here to Haida Gwaii. I was super excited, never been here before. And we're loading everything in the car. I'm like, I'm gonna go back and get my boards. And I walked back and there's nothing. I was so lucky that I got to use Pete's wetsuit and board, and we ended up going and finding some really fun waves.
Putting on a super thick wetsuit, booties, gloves, hood. It's been probably some of the coldest waters that I've ever surfed in.
You walk down to the beach and there's literally nobody. It's just perfect waves rolling in everywhere you can look. Coming here, I've only like ridden a few waves of barrels, but I tried my best to stall and attempt getting under it, but I'm not so good at figuring out how to come out.
It was an honor having Paige and Mathea surfing here. It was the first time in history having 2 female surfers of their caliber riding Haida Gwaii's waves.
I'm John Bennett. My Haida name is Guy Hagan. My father was a boat builder, and when he was going to make the model for the first boat, he went to his old uncle's set, and he asked him, he said, how did they make these ocean-going canoes? They were such wonderful seaboats. And his old uncles told him, he said, what they did was they kept the bottoms as straight as they could fore and aft, and they were slightly concave in the middle here. The keel came down, it's called rocker, it might go down maybe 4 to 6 inches here. It gave them more maneuverability, they were able to turn. So when they're hunting, they could stay on their animals like the fur seals or the sea otters. They evolved into this flare bit because when you're riding or bucking into the waves, or even riding when the sea hits, you know, the bow part's diving down, but as it gets wider, it gives it more lift in the front. The Haida Warrior, which was Jeff Weisbold, he was my uncle, he was one of the first ones that came up with this.
I grew up around surfboard builders, and it's a very similar process in the curvature and the design, and when you were talking about like the displacement hull and the nose and how, you know, it would kind of push water aside, and it's pretty cool. Now the big wave boards that I'm using are very similar. They're paddlers before they're a surfboard.
To like look at all these canoes and look at how they were built and all the reasons they were built to like glide in the water and the bow flare and everything to just make the canoe one with the ocean. And yeah, you come here and not just is it just beautiful by nature, but all the stories and people and canoes and totem poles, they're all just have so much meaning and carry so much history and beauty in them.
Haida is a stunning archipelago off Canada's west coast. It's rich in biodiversity and cultural history. It's a powerful place. You can feel it. Surfing, or riding waves in this new way, began here not so long ago. To a wave rider, Haida holds much wonder and intrigue, and with that comes respect and responsibility.
My name's Christian White. Alms is my Haida name. I was inspired by my father carving in argillite, and then later on he carved in silver and gold. By the mid-'80s, he got interested in carving canoes. It's pretty well a lost art. The last one that was carved was about 1935, and then there was another one, a smaller one, done in 71. Then my father carved this one, started in 1985. Hoot Aju, we call it, the seal hunter. Of course, the seal hunter is the killer whale. And up in the front, we have a little lookout, like a little watchman type figure, looking out ahead of us.
We dressed up the boards reflecting our canoe legacy. It was remarkable watching our youth receive these amazing gifts. The boards now live in the youth center in our village.
They start recognizing, like trees known as CMTs, culturally modified trees. They show all the different steps of building a canoe. Now we could see those in the woods, the remnants of them.
This is a wonderful example of what it takes to create a canoe, the process of falling the tree, working on the canoe out in the woods, and then of course the long journey out to the ocean. This is actually the bow. This is the prow or the clew of the canoe. And along here you see the gunwale line or the shear line, what will be the shear line.
The displacement holes in the front of the bow and how it pushes water and how it moves quickly through the water and how you can navigate the ocean and the rockers. I mean, it all correlates the same language as surfboard technology.
This was my first time I've ever done a filming trip, and getting to go up there and surf uncrowded waves with an amazing crew was incredible and was a memory I'll have forever.
Every major rock, every bay, every reef, every point, every island, everything has a hidden aim. These waters shaped us. They birthed us.